Okay, hi guys, and welcome Vivi. We have you online. It's good that you are here again with us. So welcome everyone. I know that for the past 2 weeks almost, you haven't seen me. So I've been away. I'm back now, and it's good to be back. And I know that there are 6 new people joining us today that I haven't met. Hi, Vivi. So, if you don't mind, just for a moment, I would like to just get to know the new people that have come before we get into looking at the extra materials for Unit 10 and doing a test after. So I know today there's not much time to do, some activities with the new students with me, but next week you'll see me. So I have Jonathan. Jonathan. Hi, Jonathan. So where are you from? Colombia. Okay, so you've met everyone. When did you start class? Last week. Okay, that's good. So you know everyone. Okay, so Jonathan, thank you. Also, your name? Andrew. Louis. Louis, yes. And Louis, where are you from? Colombia. Colombia. Okay, and when did you start here? On Thursday. Oh, okay. Last Thursday. No, yesterday. Yeah. Okay, so you're very new then. Okay, that's good. So you and me, Thursday, Tuesday. Tuesday. Okay, so 2 days ago. Yes. Okay, good. So you met your Colombian brothers and sisters from Tuesday. Yep. Good. And anyone else that's new? I think maybe they haven't come yet. Okay, but we'll see them later. So let's get into our extra materials. So I know that you would have been given the extra materials. So Lewis and Jonathan, you know what I mean? Extra materials, yeah. So at the end of the week, we go through the extra materials because yesterday Young would have done the review with you in the chapter. So we finished Unit 10 in the book, and now we're going to look at the extra materials. So let's go straight into it. So as you know, I'll always share my screen with my notes. And for the new students, so we only have Lewis and Jonathan now, I'll get your email and then I'll add you to Padlet. So Padlet is a space where I add all my notes and we do writing activities. So I'll send you an email after. Okay, for now. Hey, how are you? Good? Okay, so let's do extra material. So I'll just make the screen a little bit bigger so we can see. So before we get into it, I'll tell you about Unit 10. So you would remember that in Unit 10, you learnt how to use the present perfect and the past simple. They were the 2 grammar points. So the present perfect is when we, I'll just write so you can see what I'm talking about. The present perfect. So this is a grammar that we use with our action words, when we want to talk about an action that happened in the past, but it didn't finish. It's not a completed, finished action because that's your past simple, finished, completed action. The present perfect is an action that happened in the past, but it is still continuing until now, and it might continue to the future, or it may started in the past, but it just finished now. Because you could see it's got the present, but this is an action in the past. So you need to understand, yes, it is an action in the past, and yes, it is happening now in the present, and yes, it might still happen in the future. That's what the present perfect means. What does it sound like? It sounds like I have lived in Australia for 3 years. Now, where am I? In Australia. Am I going to leave Australia? Not yet. Do I know when I'm going to leave? No, it just shows me that I came to Australia and I'm still here in the present, because I said I have lived in Australia for 3 years. So I do know when the action started, but I don't know when it's going to finish. So that's the present simple. And all you do, you add the subject and you put have or has for he, she, it. And then you add the action. Now it is, because I said it started in the past, so it is an ED. But remember, there are irregulars, like I have gone, I have seen that movie before, I have spoken to that person before. So just be careful that it might be an ED, or it could also be irregular. So you need to really know what your irregular verbs are. But that's how we create that sentence, present perfect. So you would have done lots of exercises this week on the present perfect. Now you also looked at the past simple. Now the past simple was very simple. You just add, you have your subject, I, you, he, she, it, we, they, and then you add the action, which has an ED, but it could also be irregular. So what is the difference between the two? As I said, the present perfect is an action which happened in past, but still continuing. But it's still continuing. But the difference is that the past simple is an action in the past, but it's finished. So for example, I traveled to Argentina. Now, am I still in Argentina? No. I'm showing you that this is what I did in the past. I traveled to Argentina and I finished that action because I'm not there. So that's the difference between the present perfect. So they're both action in the past, but one is still continuing or just finished. Or it just finished very recently, just recently finished. But the other one is it's finished. Okay, so that was a quick review of the grammar that you learnt in Unit 10. And then you also looked at something called imperative. That's another grammar word for our actions. And we use the imperative when we want to give instructions or orders. And all you do is you start with the verb. There's no subject, it's straight away the verb. So for example, tell me your name. Give me that book. Show me a picture. So it's an order. I'm telling someone, I'm giving them an order or an instruction to do something. So there's no subject. It's not you give me the book. It's just give me the book. Tell me your name. Come to my home. Send me an email. Okay, so it's just instruction or order now in the moment. You just add the verb. There's no ed, no ing. It's just the action. And I know that you looked at it with writing emails and leaving messages this week. Okay, so I hope that helps you to understand, because I wasn't here to teach you Unit 10. So I hope that you have understood these grammar, because you're going to have a test soon. So I hope that's allows you to refresh your memory on the grammar for these actions and when to use them. They're very different times that we need to use them when we speak. Any questions with the present perfect, the past simple, or the imperative? Okay, if not, let's get into our extra materials. So Ronan, you finished. So yeah. Okay, so let's get into extra materials. So let's have a look. We have this little conversation between a father and his son. So the boy says, "Dad, can I have $20? The dad says, "Why?" The boy says, "I've cleaned the car." So you can highlight this because this is your present perfect. So you could see that he did this action in the past. I've cleaned the car. But it's just a recent finished action. So I've cleaned the car. It's the first one. I, the subject, have cleaned the car. And the dad says, "Okay." And he says, "Hey, I've tidied my room." Again, he's talking about a very recent finished action. The dad says, "That's good." And then the boy says, "And I've done all my homework." Same thing, present perfect. Done is an irregular. It comes from the action to do. And the dad says, "Well, okay, then here's 20 pounds. We can just say $20. So he just recently finished these actions. It's not like last year, last night. He's talking about now. He just finished doing these actions. He cleaned the car, he tidied his room, and he did his homework. Recent finished actions. Because as I said, you can use this one to talk about actions that are still continuing or just recently finished. So the little boy made 3 sentences using the present perfect because he just recently finished these actions. Okay, so you've got some explanation. I won't go through it because you should have done it all week. Let's practice it though. So we can see Mark's combed his hair. Rick hasn't combed his hair. So we know to make a negative, you just add not right here. Rick hasn't combed his hair. Rick hasn't ironed his shirt. Sorry, we have to do iron his shirt. So Mark, iron means, you know, to make with the iron, nice and soft, the shirt, to take off the crease. So what has Mark done recently? Mark has ironed his shirt. Yeah. Yeah, so Mark has ironed his shirt. He just recently finished this action. He has ironed his shirt. But Rick, we need to make it a negative. But Rick hasn't ironed his shirt. How about cleaning the shoes? It looks like Mark has cleaned his shoes, but Rick hasn't cleaned his shoes. Yeah. So very simple, completed actions, present perfect. Sorry, not simple, present perfect, recent finished actions. Now, if I was to put this in the past simple, it would be sentences like Mark cleaned his shoes yesterday. Mark ironed his shirt 2 weeks ago. Mark combed his hair this morning. So that's how I would use the present simple. But we're using the present. That's how I would use the past simple, but we're using the present perfect. Number 2, so I've cleaned my teeth. Number 2, she has left her bag on the table. So she has left her bag on the table. So left is an irregular past action. She has left. We haven't finished our homework. We haven't, negative, we haven't finished our homework. They have had. Yeah, so because the have becomes had in the past, and we need to have or has. The subject is they, so they have had breakfast just recently. You haven't done. Now be careful, not you didn't do the washing up, because we're not using the past simple. We can make the same sentence in the past simple and the present perfect, but we don't want to. We want to talk in the present perfect because it's just a recent finished action. Number 6, he has tidied. Yeah, he has tidied. Tired. Because the action ends in a Y, it's just a rule where you add the IED. So I don't know if I would say it's irregular, because irregular just don't have rules. This is a verb. If it ends in a Y, then you add IED in the past. So it's not really irregular because it does have a rule. You add the Y, becomes I. Sorry, it is because it's not IED. It's irregular then. Yeah. So he has tidied. Should be like that. Sorry. He has tidied. So yes, you do add the Y-I-E-D. You can say it's irregular. I tend to call irregular the ones that don't have rules, like saw, spoken, brought. But this one, it does have a rule, because if it ends in Y, then you add IED. So you can call it irregular because it's not really the regular rule. So he has tidied his desk. We have bought. We have bought. He has made He has made. And number 9, we haven't understood the teacher's instructions. Number 10, my friends have forgotten my address. Yes.
Our word is we have bought.
We have bought. Yeah, I always confuse this one with an R. It's very common for native speakers to confuse adding an R or not. We have bought. But thank you. Yes, we have bought. Okay, present perfect. These are recent finished completed actions, or maybe they're still continuing. But it sounds like these are all recent finished completed actions. Okay, number 3, I can't find my credit card. I've lost my credit card. So present perfect. Julia's got my dictionary. Julia's, yep, Julia has borrowed. Or you could say Julia's borrowed. This has, you can connect it like that. So Julia's borrowed. That's how it sounds. Julia's borrowed. Or Julia has borrowed. Number 3, Christina's wearing a new top. Christina has bought. Has bought. The car isn't moving. The car has stopped. The car has stopped. I dropped my phone and now it doesn't work. So that's using the past simple. But we can say, I have dropped my phone and now I have broken. I have broken my phone. This one, I have broken. My clothes are dirty. My clothes. So either it depends where you want to start the subject. If the subject is not you, then you have to say my clothes have not been washed, which is really a hard grammar, or it's I have not washed my clothes. So I will put 2 options to show you that you could have made both sentences. My exam results are good. That's just the present. It's got are, which comes from the present. So we could say, I have passed my exams. I have passed my exams. And the last one, my credit card was under my bed. I I have found my credit card. Yeah, so present perfect. So what have you done today? What's recently actions that you have just done today? Now, if you want, you could add words like, so we'll put the rule again. It's subject have if you're talking about yourself, or has for he, she, it, and then you add the action. But remember, if it's just a recent finished one, you can add the words just or already. So I will give you an extra grammar lesson here by showing you that you can add the word just or already to show, for example, I have just returned from overseas. This action started in the past, but I just finished it today. I have just returned. So that's my sentence. So my sentence is, sorry. So my sentence is, I have just returned from overseas. What is your sentence? So I'll give you 1 minute to make a sentence. Could be, what did you do in your day today? I have just had a haircut. Did you go and have a haircut today? I have already studied for my test. I have just spoken to my parents. I have just bought this drink. I have just paid for my accommodation. I don't know. What did you just do? So that's the rule there. As you make your own sentences, I'll give you some examples. I've washed the dishes. These are from other students. I have not. Remember, we can add not. You put the not here, but you don't put it with just or already. I have not finished all the extra materials. I've worked a lot today. I've driven a car in Australia. I've bought a black car today. I bought So I'll just give you another way to think of them. The present perfect is a recent past action. The past simple is a distant. It's more far in time, past action. But it's not just far in time, it's also finished. But this is a recent past action. Some other examples. I've taken a train to work today. I've met my classmates today. I have had breakfast this morning. I've drunk a lot of juice today. Okay, so what are your sentences? Who would like to give me their sentences? Yes, Gustavo? I've just bought some, yeah, I've just bought, what is it? Candy. Ah, yes, in Australia we say lollies. Yes. Lollies. So candies is more American. I understand it, but it's very common for Americans to say it. So if you want to speak more Australian, we say lollies. I've just bought some lollies. So I've just bought some lollies, and good. I like that you said some because we don't know how much, but just some. You know, it's not important to say how much. It's just I've bought some lollies, not one, but some. So very good. And maybe you did it before class, right? Just recently. Yeah. So it was in the past, but just very recent in the past. Not yesterday, not last night, last week, just 1 hour ago. Recent past action. Okay, anyone else would like to give me a sentence? So I don't have time to check everyone, but anyone would like for me to check their sentence?
I have to work.
I've just I've just worked a lot today. Yeah, I've just worked a lot today. Lollies. Debbie says, oh my God, lollies. Anyone else want to give me your sentence? I've just finished playing soccer. Maybe you came from a soccer. I've just finished playing soccer. Anyone else? Last. Does anyone want to give me their sentence? I've just cleaned my house. Yes, I've just cleaned my home. Yep, I've just washed the dishes. I've just cleaned my home. Yeah, I've just cleaned my home. So maybe before class, I've just cleaned my home. I've just finished cleaning my home. That's what it means. It's a very recent past action. Okay, good. So you can see lots of examples. You just have to remember it's just very recent. You did it maybe an hour ago, maybe 2 hours ago, this morning. That's when you can use it. Okay, let's go to the next page, which is 10B. So sorry, they're printed very funny, the pages, but if you look for 10B, that's the next one. So we have you ever been to New York? Now, we can ask questions in the past. You remember you always start with the verb. So with so remember, you can find my notes in Padlet. So if you didn't have time to So we use this way of asking a question in the past. It's have or has subject. And then we add this word been. If it's to a place, to place, but you can also use it to say, have you been to New York? Have you been? But we can also ask about someone's health. Have you been well? So remember, these are a question. So these are questions using present perfect. So we use it to ask someone if they have traveled to a place. So have you been to New York? If you want to respond, yes, I have, or yes, I have been to New York, but you don't really need to repeat it all. So yes, I have. When did you go? Now that's the past simple. When did? I went, that's the past simple. I went, not I have been there in 2017, but I went there in 2017. What did you do? Past simple. We celebrated past simple New Year in Times Square. So this one is showing us how we make a question. And we can use the time expressions like in the beginning of a sentence: before, today, this week, this month, this year, yesterday, last week, at midnight. Okay, let's do the exercises. So again, these extra materials, you've had them in the beginning of the week, so you should have already done them, read all the instructions. We are here just to make sure that you're getting your questions correct on how to use them. So what time did you get to school? That's a past simple question. See? At my old school? No, what time did you get to school? Yes, I've been a few times. What time did you get to school? F, I'm not sure, but I was late. So the first one, what time? So I want to answer where someone is saying 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. So what time did you go to school? The response is, I'm not sure, but I was late. Number 2, have you seen Ryan this morning? No, I haven't. Maybe he's working at home. So 2A. Where did you learn to play the guitar? So where is talking about a location. Where? Here in Australia, back home in Colombia. Where? The answer? At my old school, I had a good teacher. 3C. Have you finished your course? So using the present perfect to make a question. Have you finished your course? Yes, I have. Yep. 4E. Yes, I have. I finished yesterday. So the beginning part, they answered with the present perfect because it was just a recent action, but they're saying I finished yesterday. Have you ever been to Nepal? Yes, I have. Yes, I've been a few times. 5B. Why were you late home? We've had a lot of extra work this week, so I stayed until 8. So they were very busy. So 6D, that's why they came home late. Okay, let's make some sentences. Maybe you have to use the present perfect or the past simple. So number 1, we've made a cake just recently, maybe 10 minutes ago. We've made a cake. Do you want to try some? We just made it. I left home in 2015. Number 3, they have. I think it's a recent action. They've just booked a ticket to Rome. Maybe 10 minutes ago, someone was on the computer booking a ticket to Rome. And I'm telling someone about them. They have just booked a ticket to Rome. My parents, they've just booked a ticket. They've booked a ticket to Rome. Present perfect. Number 4. Yeah, you went to Rome last year. Now, the reason I knew that it was the past simple, because it says the time. Because in the present perfect, we don't really say the time. It's more common in the past simple. Last year, you can tell that's a very far, distant time. So past simple. It's not a recent finished action. It's a more last year. That's a long time ago. So you went to Rome last year. It's like if I said, I went to Rome last year. Past simple, not I have been to Rome, or not I have gone to Rome. The lesson started, past simple. You could also say the lesson has started 15 minutes ago. You could also use the present perfect. The present perfect. Maybe if I add just, the lesson has just started. The film has started. The film has just started. The film started. You could also go for just the past. The film started. I mean, it's a little short sentence, so it could be either one. The film has started. Just the film started. I don't know. I mean, really, it could be both sentences. Now it's a question. Remember, when we make a question, we start with the verb, not the subject. So, have you ever flown in a plane? Now, we use the word ever when we're talking about in this whole experience of life. Have you ever done this experience? So when we're asking someone about an experience or an adventure, it's nice to say ever. Have you ever seen Paris? Have you ever traveled the world? Have you ever ridden a motorbike? Have you ever played the guitar? Because I'm asking about an experience or an adventure. Number 8, it's a question. So have you seen your family? I would say this weekend. I could make it I could say, have you, there's lots of ways to say this one. So have you seen your family this weekend? Now I have to say this. So if I want to make it in the present simple, the present perfect, it has to be this. Have you seen your family this week? Because it's still continuing the week. I can't say the week. Sorry, it says the weekend. So I can't use this one because it says the weekend. So let's look at then the past simple. Did you see your family on the weekend? Yes, I think this one is the better sentence. Now, if I want to ask about a routine, I can use the present simple by saying, do you see your family every weekend? To ask about a routine. I could also ask a future question. Will you see your family this weekend? Future simple. Are you going to see your family this weekend? Present continuous. But the correct answer, past simple. Did you see your family on the weekend? But I'm just showing you, you can use other grammar to ask the same question, but it just depends. Am I asking about a routine for someone? Am I asking them about the future? But I have to change not the weekend, but this weekend, because it's still continuing. Hi, Valeria. Good to see you. We're on extra materials. The page that starts with 10B. Okay, question 3. So the correct answer was this one. I'll put it as the first one. It was this one. Okay, but you can use other tenses. Question 3. We have a conversation. So A says what? It's a question. Have you called Mandy last night? No, it's not a recent. Last night is a little bit of far distant. So past simple, how do I make that a past simple question? Did you call? Yeah, Mandy last night. Now, the reason I knew to use the past simple because it says last night. That's not recent. That's a little bit far in time. It's not recent, like 1 hour ago or this morning. Last night. So did you call? Past simple. Yes, I did. And I've left. Now that's using your present perfect. 3 more messages this morning, but she didn't. But she didn't answer. So that was all past simple, but she didn't answer. Number 2, question. And I left 3 messages for her. Yes. As long as I don't, and I left 3 messages this morning. Yeah. That could also be, and I left 3 messages this morning and she didn't answer. Yeah. And I left 3 messages this morning. She didn't answer. So I might not put and. So I took it off from this one and then added it here to connect that sentence. Yes, I did. And I left 3 messages. Or if I want, yes, I did. I left 3 messages. She didn't answer. So that could work, yes. You know, because this morning is a little bit of, it is a distant, but it's kind of in the middle this morning. So you could use the past simple or the present perfect, because it's not really too far in time, and it's not really, but it's in the middle. So because it's got this morning, yes, you could use both. Number 2. Did you buy? So remember, when we use did, the verb does not have an ed or ing. Did you, verb, because that's already the past here. So did you, verb, there's no ed. Did you buy? So did you buy anything to eat when you were out? So did you buy anything to eat when you were out? No, because I have arranged. Just recently he did this action. Because I have arranged to go out for dinner this evening. So you could see it's not a past simple because it's still in the future, this evening. When you say this, the action is going to happen very soon. So it's not yesterday, last night, it's this evening, the night that is coming. So I would use the present simple. I have arranged to go out for dinner this evening, tonight, with Tim and Shirley. Number 3, it's got ever. So I would use it with have. Have you ever won? It's an irregular. Have you ever won anything in your whole life? So remember, we use have and ever when we're asking about an experience. Have you ever done this? Like, wow. Have you ever won anything in your life? Have you ever won the lotto? Only once I won, past simple, a competition in my school. Past simple, they gave me. It's a finished action. They gave me $10. Number 4, a question. Did your teacher give you an exam? The answer is not in the past. Sorry? Has? Is that what you said? Has your teacher given you an exam? How did I know to use that one? Because the answer was no, he hasn't. If the question was, did your teacher give you an exam? No, he didn't. It's a present perfect, not the past simple. No, he hasn't. Not yet. Maybe soon. It's not a finished, completed action. Maybe soon. Not yet. Actually, in half an hour. Soon. Has your teacher given you an exam? No, he hasn't. Not yet. So it has that silent not yet. It may be soon. It could still happen. So action may still happen. It's not a finished, completed action. The action may still happen. My teacher has, yeah. So he already finished this action. I failed it. I failed it. Okay, write a conversation. So, have you ever been to Canada? Yes, I have. I went to Montreal last year. About rugby, that's a sport game. So, how would I ask a question? Have you have you it sounds like an experience. Have you ever played rugby? Right? The answer, yes, I have when I was at school. I mean, I could also, did you ever play rugby? I could do that. Did you ever play rugby? I could do it, but it's more common, this one with ever. Have you ever played rugby? Yes, when I was at school. Number 3, it's about curry. I'm assuming that's the food. So how do I ask a question? Have you ever, I need an action because curry is a noun. What's the action? Have you ever, pardon? Tasted? It's more common to say, have you ever eaten curry? We say more eaten. It's more common. Have you ever eaten curry? Yes, in London last year. And the last one, have you, I need an action. Have you ever seen Romeo and Juliet? Have you ever seen Romeo and Juliet? Yes, at the Globe Theatre in May. Sorry, I think we forgot to do 10A too. So let's go back to 10A2. Okay, so we have conversation. I'll read it because we don't have much time. So it says, have you booked the plane tickets for Paris? Yes, I have. Have you booked the hotel room? No, I haven't. Have you ever been to France? Remember asking about an experience? Yes, I have. Have you ever seen the Eiffel Tower? No, I haven't. I'm very excited. So we use have you ever when we talk about an experience. So have subject if you've ever been to a place, but you can also say have or has if you're asking about someone else. Have you ever, or an action. So it depends if it's about a place, then I connect it with been, but if it's not, it's just the action. Have you ever played volleyball? Have you ever ridden a motorbike? So that's what the rules was telling us. We need to respond by yes, I have, or no, I haven't. So let's look at a conversation. Peter, it's 5 to 9. Are you ready? Yes, mum. Have you brushed your teeth? So have you brushed your teeth? Yes, of course I have. And the mother says, have you, not have you, did you have a shower? The reason I knew it wasn't the first one, the present perfect, because it didn't say, have you verbed? Have you showered? There's there's a noun, so I have to use it with did. So that's how I knew it was did, because it's with the noun. We use that with did. So I'm not asking about a place. So I can't say, have you ever been to New York? I can't say, have you ever action? Have you ever, it's because it says a shower. Remember, we use the article a or the with a noun. So it must be, did you have a shower? So these are all questions. Yes, mum. So did you have a shower? Yes, mum. Number 3. Have you brushed your hair? Have you combed your hair? Did you? The answer is have. So I would say, have you combed your hair, or have you brushed your hair? It's the same action. It's common to say both. Yes, I have. And the last one, the answer is with have. So I know straight away, have you tied your shoes? Not did, because he didn't say, yes, I did. So have you? So you automatically know if you ask a question with have, and the answer must be, yes, I have, no, I haven't. If you ask a question with did, the answer is, yes, I did, no, I didn't. So that's why I know that it's, have you tied your shoes? Because the answer is, yes, I have. No, you haven't. They're dirty. Oh, Peter. Okay, let's look at the photos. We've got 2 minutes, so we'll just finish maybe 2 questions here. You've got to use the verb or maybe a noun. Have you ever been to Australia? So remember, we use, have you ever been to a place? Have you ever, number 2, have you ever ridden a motorbike? Number 3, have you ever drunk Red Bull? Number 4, have you ever played basketball? Number 5, have you ever eaten Greek yogurt? Mm-hmm. Only if I want to say no, the Greek, only if I'm talking about, oh, this Greek yogurt is amazing. Or Greek, no article. Unless, did you try the Greek yogurt? I mean, unless I make a question like, did you try the? Like if I'm sitting right now in a restaurant and I asked you, oh, did you try the Greek yogurt? Then yes, I could put the, because remember, did has the noun. So yes, it could be, did you eat the Greek yogurt? Did you eat the Greek yogurt? Not common. Yes. Exactly. Yeah, because you could see that in the present perfect, there's no article because it's the action. Only in the did, there is an article. There is a noun. So there's an article here before. We know articles are words like the, a, an, or some. Or there's lots of many. That's, sorry, that's not an article, but the, a, or an. So yes, it's the answer is this one. Have you ever eaten Greek yogurt? Because I'm asking about someone's experience. But you could say, you know, did you try the Greek yogurt? Number 6. Have you ever seen a James Bond film? Yeah. Yeah. Sorry? Have you ever seen a James Bond film? So here, we could use this. Have you ever seen? Okay, so we can actually, yes, use this one with a noun. Have you ever seen a James Bond film? Yeah, but it's not common to say, have you ever eaten the Greek yogurt? So the difference is, yes, you could use both with a noun, but with the present perfect, you must still have the verb. And if I do have that verb, then yes, you could say this part. Okay, so that's all we had time for the extra materials. So I hope that's helped you to look back at understanding the difference between the present perfect, the past simple, and we didn't do any imperative, but that was in your unit book. Okay, so let's have a break because in 30 minutes, 7 o'clock exactly, you must be here to do the test. So new students, we have a break now, and 7 o'clock, we have the test for unit 10. Should be good. Should be good. I don't know how you did with your last test. I have to see the results, but I'm sure you did well. So online, So yes, Bivy, you need to take last week test because that was an important test. So you can take last week's test, which was unit 7 to 9 on Monday when you come. So make sure that's unit 7, 8, and 9, 3 units. So yes, you can take it on Monday. And I had a beautiful trip. Thank you for asking. No worries. Okay, so let's have a break. Come back, test. Yeah. Jet lag means you feel dizzy a little bit. But yes. Okay, so see you all. If you're online, so you don't need to come, I won't see you, but I will mark you, Bivy, Valeria. I'll mark you today that you came in class. So I won't see you. I'll see you on Monday, Bivy and Valeria. Bye, guys. So bye, Bivy. Bye, Valeria. See you guys. See you all soon.